Ulothrix. Hello friends, I am Ayantika and in this video I will be discussing about the reproductive strategy of Ulothrix. In the part 1 of this video, I have discussed about the general account of Ulothrix and about its thallus organization and its ecological and economic importance. But here in this video, I will be solely discussing about the reproductive strategies of Ulothrix. Ulothrix is a green algae belonging to Ulotrichalis and it usually reproduces both by vegetative, asexual and sexual methods. The Ulothrix is reproduces by vegetative or sexual method. In vegetative reproduction, it is mainly by fragmentation. Fragmentation of the entire filament of Ulothrix may occur by, actually I have written a wrong diagram. Actually this will not be. So this is the filament and the intermediate cell. It can be broken down by the wave action or the by the nibbling or biting of the filament into two parts by the animals that feed on these Ulothrix. That it is the aquatic invertebrates, the fry of fishes, the tadpole of frog, and all this. So this fragmentation, the fragmentation, it occurs mainly accidental by wave action or by biting action of the animals that is feeding on it, or by the death of the intermediate cells, or by the formation of spores, that is spores in the intermediate region. So in this way, if this say for this cell becomes death or the spore is formed, then it will form two filaments. Actually it will form two filaments. One is this one, another is this one. So and then is the asexual reproduction. That is, asexual reproduction mainly takes place through the formation of spores. That is, the zoospores are mostly formed during, especially during the summer, when the not summer, spring and winter in case of Ulothrix, because Ulothrix is a low temperature preferring algae and it disappears during the summer period. And so its growth period is especially the winter and the spring time, and during this winter and the spring season in cool area, zoospores are produced, and at the end of the growing season, that is the summer, in case of Ulothrix, because Ulothrix prefers cool temperature. So during the end of the season, that is the early summer, sexual spores are produced, and during just before the summer, this resting spores, that is the aplanospore, the hypnospore, akinete, are formed, and sometimes Pamela stages are also seen. So in normally the zoospores are produced, but at the end of the growing season, this aplanospore is formed. Aplanospore is, we know that the zoospores, they are the zoospores, they are either pyriform or they are moniliform, but they have this flagella, and the cell do not have a cell wall, that is naked. But here in aplanospore, we see that the cell, the aplanospore is formed in a normal cell, and they have a thin wall around it, and when the wall the condition becomes less and less humid, then thick walled hypnospore are formed. And when the condition become far more less humid, for more harsh for the Ulothrix, then this akinete, what is it? Then the akinites are produced. So, a planospore is just a, thin-walled spore. The zoospore, we know that do not have a wall, so to tide over the drought-like condition, the thin-walled aplanospore are produced. Then, if the drought condition further persists, the thick-walled hypnospore are produced, and both these aplanospore as well as this hypnospore, they they germinate in the same way as that of a zoospore would germinate. And I will be discussing about the zoospore in the next slide. So the aplonospore and the hypnospore, they germinate in the same way as the zoospore will germinate. And then akinete is formed. Here we see the akinete, the here we see that the akinete, it is much more thickened walled, entire cell becomes converted into akinete. So in akinete, we see that the walls are much more thickened, and this is also a resting stage. But in Pamela, this stage, the the Pamela stage, here the not only the protoplast gets divided into a planospore like structure, but also the cell wall, it gelatinizes to form this mucilage like matter. And the cells, they occasionally, the parent cell, when they gelatinize, they the planospore like structure, they remain here for certain period of time. And after the certain period of time, after certain period of drought, when the water humidity again increases, then this a planospore like structure, they develop into a zoospore like structure. That is, they develop flagella, and these after they are liberated from this mucilaginous matrix. This zoospore, again the zoospore like structure, then germinates. And how it germinates, I will be discussing in the next slide. So we can recollect that aplanospore, hypnospore, and akinete and Pamela, they all ultimately, they germinate just in the same way as the zoospore would germinate. And these all the four structures, aplanospore, hypnospore, akinete, and the Pamela, all they are resting stage. And resting stage in Ulothrix, it is called the stage in Ulothrix is called uh, Codiolum stage. You should know this name, because short questions can come. What is Codiolum stage of Ulothrix? So the resting spore stage of Ulothrix is called the Codiolum stage. And so far this Pamela stage in Ulothrix, Pamela is also, this type of stage is also seen in Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas, it is also a green algae, but here we are discussing Ulothrix, which belongs to order Ulotricalis, and Chlamydomonas, it belongs to the Volvocalis algae. So these both are belonging to Chlorophyceae, but different order. And Pamela stage, this Ulothrix and Chlamydomonas, they both have this Pamela stage. I have made a video on Chlamydomonas also. In case you want to, you are interested in knowing about Chlamydomonas, you can also go to the link in the description box for the Chlamydomonas. Next is the asexual reproduction. Earlier we have discussed, in the last slide we have discussed the aplanospore, zoospore, achynete and the Pamela stage. Now we will be discussing the zoospore. But before I go to the zoospore stage, I should be saying that all these spores, they develop in a basipetal order. That is, they begin with the top cell, division starts with the top cell and it continues downward, except the basal cell. The basal cell, which is the rhizoidal cell, that do not divide to form any gamete or any spore. So the except the basal cell, which is the rhizoid, all other cell, they divide to form this spore, both asexual as well as sexual spore, and it starts in the apical cell and continues downward. That is the basipetal order. And the spores, zoospores, they are formed during the condition when the condition are very conductive for growth, and as the condition, the humidity decreases, aplanospore, hypnospore, kinetes, they are formed. And when the condition further the humidity decreases, then sexual reproduction starts. So the spores, the zoospore formed in Ulothrix is of three types. One is the quadriflagellate macrozoospore that has 4 flagella, and another is the quadriflagellate microzoospore that is that also has 4 flagella, but this macrozoospore is pyriform, that is pear shaped, and this quadriflagellate microzoospore, it is moniliform or spherical in shape. And there is another spore, that is the biflagellate microzoospore. This is also pure shaped, and it is has only 2 flagella, but this microzoospore is much smaller than the macrozoospore and the quadriflagellate macrozoospore and quadriflagellate microzoospore. But this macrozoospore, that is this microzoospore, is much larger than the gametes. Gametes are even smaller. And this is the gamete. So we can see the relative size. And also the macrozoospore, the macrozoospore, the microzoospore, and both the type of macrozoospore, they differ in their size, their number of flagella, their shape, as well as their period of swarming. In the macrozoospore, the number of macrozoospore produced per cell is just 4 per cell. The number of microzoospore, quadriflagellate macrozoospore is 4, and quadriflagellate microzoospore is 8 zoospore per cell produced. And microzoospore, it is produced, that is 16 to 32 number of biflagellate microzoospore are produced. So we see that all this 3 type of zoospores, they not only are structurally different, but also physiologically they are also very different. That is, and also the swarming period for the macrozoospore is just 24 hours. That is, it swarms for a period of just one day, and then it comes to rest to germinate. And the quadriflagellate microzoospore, that is the smaller ones, it usually swarm for 2 to 6 days. 2 to 6 days. And this period of swarming of both the microzoospore, that is both the quadriflagellate as well as the biflagellate zoospore, they are same, that is they do for it for 2 to 6 days. So thus we come to we discuss the macrozoospore, the quadriflagellate microzoospore, and the biflagellate zoospore. Now after the period of swarming, what happens is that here it is shown how the zoospores and the difference. And after period of swarming, it happens that the zoospore, it attaches to the substratum. It attaches to the substratum. This is a attaches to the substratum, and the anterior end is at the is facing the substratum. So the apical papilla, it faces the substratum. This is the apex portion and the apical papilla. And next what happens is that the flagella is withdrawn. And once the flagella is withdrawn, and some mucilage, certain mucilage is secreted. This mucilage secretion, it helps the attachment of the cell. So mucilage secretion and flagella removal is the first step towards the germination. Then after that, the cell, it divides into two to form the apical and the basal cell. This apical cell keeps on dividing to form a filament, and the basal cell, it usually forms the rhizoid. This is the basal cell, and the apical cell, it keeps on forming, it keeps on dividing to form a filament. This is how germination of the zoospores occur. Then is the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is isogamous. That is, the gametes, they are of same size. The gametes are of same size and same shape, but they are heterothallic, which means that two filaments will be required for this reproduction. The gametes produced from the same cell, gamete produced from the same filament won't be able to fuse within themselves. So two filaments will be required, and the two filaments should be of opposite strain. One is minus, one is of positive strain. So here we in diagram also we see that the gametes are formed. One thing I forgot to tell you that even in the asexual reproduction, or the zoospores were liberated, packed inside the vesicles. The outer wall gelatinized to form a pore, and the inner wall, it formed a vesicle-like structure. So the zoospore, aplanospore, or the hypnospore, once they were liberated inside the vesicle-like package formed by the inner cell wall. And so is the case of the gametes also. After a period of swarming, the vesicles, they are released. This is, we see that the sperm packet is inside the vesicle. Then after a period of swarming, the vesicle is gelatinizes, and this negative and positive strain of gametes, here I have for the negative and positive strain of gametes, isogametes, that is of the similar structure, and but opposite strain isogamous heterothallic, positive and negative, they fuse by here we see lateral fusion, but apical fusion can also happen. And say after the fusion, this zygote is formed, and this zygote, after it is formed, they undergo a period of rest, and this resting period is called the zygospore. During the zygospore, the zygospore loses flagella. It forms a thick wall. Zygote is naked, but zygospore, it loses flagella, and number two, it develops a thick wall around it, and it rests for a period. So zygote rest till a favorable condition is obtained. That is, more humidity condition is attained. So when the condition is more humid, then meiospore, that is the zygote, it undergoes meiosis. Meiosis is the reduction division. Meiosis. So here it is haploid. Here we see it is the haploid gametes. Actually, the plant body is haploid, that is N, and when it unites, it forms a 2N zygote, and the zygote forms a 2N zygospore. When meiosis occurs, the automyospores or the automyozoospore or myoaplanospore, they are n in number, and totally either 4 to 16 myoaplanospore or myojoospore are produced. Myojoospore or myojoospore or myoaplanospore are produced. Now, what is the difference between myojoospore and myoaplanospore? We know that myojoospore, they have flagella. Myoaplanospore, they have a wall rounded them, and they rest for a certain period of time, again convert to the zoospore like structure. So by meiosis, this two structure, one is myozoospore and another is the myoaplanospore. Either of these two are formed, and in this way the zygospore undergoes reduction division, and the spores so formed, they germinate in the same way as any zoospore will germinate. That is the myojoospore will attach head down, and the apical papilla, it will secrete certain gelatinous matter that will help it to attach to the substratum. Flagella are withdrawn, and then again it divides to form two cells. The apical cell, it divides to form many cells in the filament. The basal cell, it acts like a rhizoid and attaches to the substrate. This is how the entire reproduction, the vegetative asexual section. Here we see the pictorial representation of Ulothrix. This is the vegetative filament, and filament by they reproduce asexually. They reproduce asexually by aplanospore, that is a thin-walled spore, and microzoospore, that is naked flagellated spore. The macrozoospore, again naked flagellated but larger size. The hypnospore, that is similar to a planospore but much thicker. And akinete are also resting spore but entire cell develop from the entire cell gives rise to akinete. And so far the hypnospore or aplanospore, this hypnospore or aplanospore or all the zoospore, single cell undergoes successive division to form the aplano the aplanospore, the hypnospore, the zoospore, both macro micro. They single cell divide to form these cells, and sometimes Pamela stages are also observed. But in akinete, a single cell give rise to a single akinete. So this is all about the asexual reproduction process. The planospore, hypnospore, zoospore, Pamela, and akinete. But when this conditions are favorable, only then we can see the zoospore. Zoospore are formed only when conditions are favorable, but when the humidity is very low, then only we see these resting spores like a planospore and hypnospore and the Pamela stage, as well as this akinete. So these are the resting stages. Only zoospore are formed when the humidity is perfect and the temperature is also perfect. And at the end of the growing season, what happens is that the sexual reproduction occurs. Here we see that a single cell, it divides several times to form isogamete, but as Eulothrix is, it is heterotrichous, means it is not heterotrichous, it is actually heterothallic. So two different thalers are required for gamete formation. That is gametes will form, gamete will fuse only when they are produced from two different type of thallus. One it should be positive, another should be negative. So this positive and negative filaments of Eulothrix, when they produce the gamete, then only these isogamete or similar gametes, they fuse and they form the zygote. So here we see that gametes are this is the entire process is the of gamete formation. Gametes are here they are gametes are liberated in the vesicle, and this vesicle is nothing but the inner cell wall which forms the vesicle. And here we see that the vesicle containing the gametes, they are liberated by this pore in the wall, and after a certain period of swimming, the vesicle it gelatinizes. And here we see in this diagram, we see that the opposite gamete, they come close to each other, and here we see that the fusion fertilization is occurring, and this stage is the quadriflagellate zoospore. And the zoospore, it loses its flagella, rounds off to form zygospore, and the zygospore settles at the bottom of the pool and it rests. And especially as the sexual reproductive stage is produced in low humid condition, so most of the time it happens that the zoospore, they are lying in dry ground of the lakes, that is when the water has all dried away. During that period, this zoospore, it can be blown away by wind to nearby places, or from the shoreline of the pond to the central region of the pond, where on reaching favorable condition, that is more humid condition, this zygospore undergoes this reduction division, that is from here from 2n. This is the diploid stage, that is from 2n to this n stage. Here only zoospore is shown, but apart from myojoospore, myoaplanospore are also produced. Now this myoaplanospore again convert to this zoospore, and the zoospore, after a period of the myojoospore, this zoospore is myojoospore. This is the myojoospore. So after a period of swarming, they develop in the same way as that of these aplanospore, hypnospore, and this Pamela stage or echinid, or this zoospore is the mitozoospore. This is the mitozoospore, and this is the myojoospore. So all the zoospores, they develop in the same way, that is this is how they germinate. So here we see that the entire life cycle is haplontic, that is it is haplontic, haplon So the life cycle is of Ulothrix is haplontic. Only a very short period of time, that is this stage. So with this I come to the end of this video. This video was about the reproductive strategy and life cycle of Ulothrix. But in the previous video, that is a part 1 of this video, Ulothrix, I have discussed about the general account of Ulothrix, its ecological and economic importance, its structure, means thallus organization. So the first part of the video link I have provided in the description box, and in case if you are interested to know other algae in the MSc and BSc syllabus, I have also put the link in the description box of all the algae that I have, the videos that I have been making. Thank you for watching, and if you like my video, do share it with your friends. Do subscribe to get the latest video. Thank you.